I'm back. Let's go. Welcome to Last Chance Q with myself, Coach JB and Sean Salisbury.
We will not talk over the amateur or under the expert.
It's not only the X's and O's, but it's about the Jimmies and Joes.
And it's not just quarterbacks. We got all the positions, teaching, coaching, laughing, and joking.
We're using football terminology so we can get through this faster than we don't want to use these long terms, Coach. We got quick verbiage to get to the point. Last Chance Q with the great legendary Sean Salisbury. What up, man? We're back. We had a week off. I was traveling. Sean was out. You know, Sean plays a lot of games. Got dogs. He's got golf. You know, he throws 95-mile-an-hour heaters into the fucking proverbial wind. He can hit home runs. Sean does a lot. So without further ado, we're going to bring in the crew, and that is the legendary Sean Salisbury and Jeff Nadu. What up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
What's happening, man?
What up, man? You good?
Hey, me? I'm good. I'm just trying to square myself up here. Yeah, I didn't pay but about 8 minutes of attention to the NFL the entire last week. Had to speak at Texas A&M on Friday, so that was fun. And I'm anxious to see. I mean, other than Stroud and Burrow, I'm not even sure how many different matchups we got today, other than the Colts or who's playing today, other than the Colts and the one I'm watching with the New England. This was about as distant as I've been from an NFL year or an NFL week in my life, man. So it's crazy.
That's why we lean on Jeff, man. You know what I mean? That's why we lean on Jeff for all the breakdowns. He knows every single thing, short, fat, skinny, and tall. I got to ask you, Sean, I saw you were at A&M speaking. I'm hearing that Jimbo's gone as of today.
Oh, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, whether it's today or at the end of the year. Even though they won pretty big yesterday, they should have. If it wasn't, I said before the season started, if it wasn't a really good, January 1 bowl game or getting to the 4, and they were just struggling around with 6 or 7 wins, I didn't think that he'd make it through even with about $90 million or whatever left on a contract. Yeah, I think it's probably going to happen. I just don't know how imminent it is, but I don't believe he'll be the head coach next fall at A&M.
Jeff, $77 million. I got to give that man to walk. And I've been hearing that he's been telling them from a friend of mine that pay me so I can go. That's what I've been hearing him say for the last couple of weeks, Sean. So it is what it is. It's interesting.
Doesn't shock me. The leadership there, the leadership, there's a problem with leadership at the top. There just is, and that's just the fact. So, and you can see the results. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens sooner than later.
Hey, Jeff, I know you're not a fan of this guy. He's a friend of mine, but I don't really care. This is a realest show on earth. Sean and Jeff, do you guys see this? This is a rumor that I heard. Oh, man. I don't know. James Franklin to A&M.
It would be good for Penn State if that were to happen. I mean, he is a loser. He doesn't win. I'm not speaking in out of turn. He doesn't win games that are important. I guess if you're Penn State and you want to go 10, 11 wins every year and you don't do much of anything that actually matters, then he's probably the great guy for you. But I just don't know how week after week against quality opponents you can justify the level of how they played. I mean, it's hard to watch. It's a disaster at every level. That would be good for Penn State if that were to happen.
How many guys are there out there that you guys think that live in the 3 categories? The guys that are just kind of trying to get a job but aren't going to last long in it. The guys that are in a job going to last long but never win a championship. And then there's the group that is in it. They're going to win all the time and be in the mix for a championship every year. I think we know those. It's been Dabo. It's been Saban. It's obviously Kirby Smart. Then there's the Lincoln Riley, James Franklins who get them to a point and they just don't. They don't finish out with a ring. But then again, isn't James Franklin? And I'm with you, and that may happen. And I'm with Jeff on this. I don't know if he's going to win it. He's going to get the similar recruits in Texas A&M that Jimbo got. He's going to get great, but can they develop them? I mean, is it the same guy with a different wrapper? I don't know. I do not know because James Franklin's done a nice job in his career. Nice job, but isn't putting a ring on. And the same thing, Jimbo got one at Florida State, but at A&M, it's been underachievement. So most guys are the good ones are living in that range of 8 to 10 wins, right? But aren't going to win it all. The good ones.
Those A&M guys, you can argue were there. He inherited that group in Florida State. I don't know. I say this all the time, Sean, exactly what you said. And, there's only really 3 guys that, and still I don't even think deserve the money they're getting. $10 million a year in college is crazy, but there's 3 guys.
There's a 4th one. Kyle Whittingham's in that. He belongs in that class. If he had A&M's recruits, he'd be a national champion. I'm just telling you. I believe.
Yeah, but he just still evades that big time ring, and it could be because he likes the small town. He likes being there, and he likes being the big fish in the little pond. Because we've seen a lot of guys, Sean, leave that have been great. Peterson at Boise. He was the big fish in the little pond. He wanted to leave, go to Washington. You've seen him, that he did a good job, but he just couldn't get over the hump. Sometimes it's good to be the big fish in a little pond.
Some guys are comfortable with it. It may sustain. They want to spend 30 years. We hear that Lance Leopold's doing the same thing. Talk about somebody else coming after him, and he said, is given the old basic. No, I'm a lifer here at Kansas. I mean, maybe he loves it. Maybe going to the next stage up is. You don't want to win 9 wins and 10 wins and get fired where he wins 9 or 10 there. And in Utah, you're keeping your job the whole time, I guess. I guess that's what you mean, JB, right?
If James Franklin does leave, they'll never do this. But I'll tell you who Penn State should go hire. He's probably too small for them because they're going to go and try to grab some big guy. Kurt Signetti at JMU. That's a football coach right there.
Well, it keeps getting them they keep putting themselves in position to win a national championship. James Madison does, always. He's got he's got that
kind of guy there.
What's that? Yeah, and there's a big job waiting on that guy if he wants it.
I just hope that somebody thinks outside the box at some point. They did it with Dion. They took a shot, not about his coaching, about his personality and following. Right? They took a Barstool guy. There's guys, Sean and Jeff, that are out there that can do this thing that they just are scared to pull the trigger on. Admin that is speaking. So that's why I'm so excited. That's why. Gives me chills to see a president at Michigan who's actually dropped his nuts and said, come get us. I'm defending my coach. I'm defending the program. We don't see it. Most cats throw these guys under the bus. And I'm just telling you right now on the Michigan thing, and we can get onto this NFL deal, they're setting a crazy precedent, Sean, Jeff. I'm going to tell you right now, this precedent they're setting by suspending a guy twice, Jeff, and Sean, without firing him in the same season, to me, seems like a reach. And it seems it smells a lot like your alma mater, Sean, when they tried to push Pete out, doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah, and what's interesting about it, too, with Jim, all the talk about going to the NFL, if I'm Jim and they're this loyal to me, they've allowed me to make a few mistakes. They've allowed me to flirt with the NFL every single year, and they keep having me back. If you're Jim, that grass may not be greener on Sunday. If you go coach somewhere on Sunday, you're going to coach somebody who's not very good. And he's always got a chance, but he may still want that.
Are you going to be continuing to deal with this? It's really what it is. It's jealous. It's jealous one's envy. These guys don't like him, just like they didn't like Pete. They see that this is about to ascend. If he beats Ohio State for a third year, and get to a playoff again, I don't think that conference wants him in it. And it's not about Michigan. It's not about those kids. It's strictly because they do not like this guy. He doesn't have a lot of fun in this business, Sean. You know that.
Yeah, and I think that if you're Jim Harbaugh, the best way to get even is not to hold. You don't go out and vengeful. Just keep grinding and doing your thing. The best form of getting back at somebody for not like is just keep winning, keep having success. He doesn't need to talk. You don't need to, waddle with the pigs and the shit. You can just go do your thing. Now, some of it's self-inflicted by Jim. We know he's a competitor and gets after it. But, yeah, I like when people are loyal to somebody who's gone through a time. And if Michigan – but we're going to find out how deep this goes. But apparently the 3 games, and then he'll be ready for the playoff or the Big Ten championship, which is a good thing for Jim. What's the big deal? They were going to win anyway. And he'll have a game plan with them. Ohio State will put it in, and Michigan will put theirs in, and they'll be ready for the Big Ten championship.
That said, I mean, crying on the sidelines after winning the game, is he serious with that? Was that like he died or something? What are we doing here?
Yeah, boy, the emotions ran wild with that one. You guys would have, if that was Caleb Williams, JB, you'd have quit.
No, I did quit on that one too because have you seen all the videos, Sean? So they come up to the guy and he's bullshitting and laughing and joking, and then they get on him and he goes zoop, like he forced the shit out of the thing, and I'm like, holy shit, what are we doing here? Where's the men gone?
When you're on the set of a movie, you got to be able to cry at will, dude.
But Sean, the thing is, if he'd have said like, I've waited my whole life to get to this point as a coach, like that, fair enough. But like he addressed Jim Harbaugh, so this is for you, Jim. You know what? Like, come on, man. Like it was like he was behind them in a hearse or something.
Hey,
like,
I love that he cussed though.
That's the thing that made me think that his emotions actually did overtake him. Because he said, shit, fuck. It did. I mean, he's like, I love the shit out of you. I love these fucking guys. I mean, I'm like, okay, coach, let it rip. And I guarantee was it Jenny Taft? Is that who it was? Is Jenny Taft on the sidelines? Yeah, who does a great job. But I guarantee it's like, okay, somebody's in her ear saying, we'll beep it later. Keep this emotion going. And she's probably like, do I keep this going? He'd go over, talk to his player. When he comes back, do I keep risking the fact that he may sling another F-bomb? But she handled it great. And yeah, Jeff, I get what you're saying. I was a little like, whoa. And then I thought, okay, keep slinging those F-bombs and S-bombs. It was almost, too, if he did it on purpose, to get back at everybody who's covering Michigan's program, too.
And the video I did was like, shit, he's going to be fucking fired, too. They're going to have no coaches.
We don't do that in the Big Ten. We're not allowed to cuss in an interview. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, if I know we're about to get into NFL, but if you're A&M, Deion Sanders has to be on your top list.
If you have a half a brain,
look, I'm not a huge fan of him as actual coach, but him in Texas, that'd be a great match. I also see the words Lane Kiffin. Can we stop with him as well? He's another one. What the fuck has this guy ever won? I mean, seriously. Every big game he plays and he fucking shits down his leg in. He gets blown the fuck out last night against a real team. He's another hack. I'm going to keep saying it. These hacks we accept as good. They're not good coaches. They're rah-rah clowns that don't win shit.
Back to
Deion should get a look. They should interview him. Dallas Cowboys love him. That recruiting base, he'll come in and steal a bunch of players and 4 and 5 stars.
Isn't that where he coached to high school, Texas?
Yeah, in Prosper. Yeah, the Prime Academy. Yep. Hey, Prosper, which is just a little north of Plano, Frisco area in Dallas. Yes.
Let me ask you this though, Jeff. It goes back to 3 things Sean brought in there. There's only so many guys. How was Ole Miss before Lane took them? Shitty.
But I understand that.
I mean, how was Tennessee when he took them? Shitty. So he's one of the better echelon guys in that second tier to rebuild the place.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say though, these teams act like it. Look at where Tennessee was winning national titles before he got there too. I mean, that's just the truth. Like, I'm just saying, like, he's another one that never wins. Him and James Franklin are the same coach. They win 10 games every year, and that's it. And if that's what you want, cool. But you're not. Stop pretending you're Alabama. Like, I'm not. I'm just speaking the truth here. Like, all this shit I'm saying is just they're not good enough. So don't.
I'm with you.
If Texas A&M wants to keep being average, that's cool. But that's what you're going to be.
Sean and I are with you on this fact that mediocrity has become the new excellence. So the bottom line is though, there's only a bag full of the shit's only so deep in that bag. I don't know who you can dissect and decipher and get through that bag of shit and who you're gonna find.
I think what happens,
small school guy went to Buffalo after winning multiple natties in Wisconsin Whitewater, goes to Buffalo, a small mid-major, does a great job. He's on the radar now. There's guys out there like that. Signetti's one, like you said. My guy at Liberty who rebuilt Coastal Carolina. He does a great job. There's guys out there, but will the admin pull the trigger?
That's the problem. What happens is they think, and why the Kiffins or Lane and James Franklin, who have done a really good job, like you said, only one team at the end of the year is usually happy. I mean, can we say the same for Ryan Day or him going to a national championship? Did that change, or to a Final Four, right?
He's overachieved.
He's a good coach, but I think people would say the same thing. Harbaugh is going to get that same flack at times. And I'm not saying that these guys can't coach. They're good coaches to get. You got to win. Then they get great recruits and they have great support from their programs, and they got a lot of money. But my thing is, I think it comes down to this, and it goes with what both of you were saying. You, JB, were saying think outside the box on some of these guys that we're trying to get. We mentioned James Madison, right? Head football coach. And now we go to then there's other guys like Dion that you say, man, if you don't interview him, just shake up the apple cart, man. Let's go. Let's change some things around here. And he knows football. And getting a good staff, as you guys both know, is probably more important than the head coach hiring great assistants that teach and develop talent. That's the shit. Because the head coach, in truth, at major universities and in football in the NFL, there are some, like Andy Reid is in it, but most of them, you're in a CEO, you want the other guys who are around them every day. You better have great assistants. I know there's a lot of guys that are really good head coaches that if they hire bad assistants or they have bad players and don't develop them, they're going to get fired. And then there's that coach you say, how'd that guy get a head coaching gig? He's really not a great X's and O's guy. Right people, knows the right people, gets it, and he hires the right people and stays in the job for 15 years.
No, we're only as good as our fucking assistants.
Assistants and those damn the friggin' players that you develop, and they keep grinding and have the same mentality of whooping ass. They don't check out at 18 years old and aren't doing all kinds of other shit, and their attention spans, not all of them, but you guys know how it is, man. Trying to the focus of I guess what I'm saying is, can you have to get buy-in. Dion got buy-in in a hurry.
I'm getting a text right now, Sean. I'm getting a text that don't be surprised if the upper echelon Pac-12 teams get poached by a few of these big opening jobs down south or at Michigan.
That wouldn't shock me at all.
You got Washington, they're going to come after. Jonathan Smith at Oregon State's already going to be hounded after.
Dan Lanning will probably get some love too, right?
Who?
Lanning, maybe. I'll tell you who else is going to get love is Jed Fish at Arizona, the way they're playing.
That's what I'm saying. So, it's recency bias in this game. Jed Fish was on the outs, before the season started.
Oh, he had one more to go or they were going to run him out, right? Now they're winning. Yeah.
And now all of a sudden how quick shit changes. But you got a lot of these guys out there that don't know, you want to go to this new conference, or do you want to come down to A&M or Michigan State, which is going to be the same conference for a lot of these coaches leaving the Pac-12 and going into that conference. But at the same time, I'm curious. It's going to be interesting, man, because, as I know, Utah Whittingham's not leaving, but these other schools can probably get poached. If I'm Lanning, though,
10 years, $100 million, you're doing it, right?
Dan leaving Oregon. I don't see.
I don't either. All the support he's got, Oregon. I think they'll probably try to say, well, let's extend you 4 more years or whatever it is. But real quick on that, Jeff, with you and talking about like Lane and James Franklin and those guys, I think what happens, it's that comfort zone of the administration, JB, that you were talking about, that they get to a point and say, okay, do we go hire a new guy that may not be even get us to 10 wins? And then, with Lane and James Franklin, you're going to win. The question is, are you putting a ring? So it comes to what's important. And you're right, man. We got a handful of guys that hover in that zone, the Lincoln Rileys and Lane Kiffin. Sarkisian's been there. And I love all those guys. They're my buddies. I love Sark and Lane.
There's only one fucking guy, and I've called it on my show weeks ago, and I still think it's a possibility, but I think he's waiting for what's going on right now as we're talking about A&M, and it's one fucking guy that everyone's going to want to throw a bag at, and that's Urban fucking Meyer, who's the best coach in college football. I put him right there with Pete Carroll and Nick Saban all time, and he's the only guy that's going to go into a new program and possibly go fucking instantly undefeated in the first year, especially in this NIL deal and this market that we're in. Urban would absolutely kill it. And I know he's
going to get hired. He's going to get offered a job if he wants it.
Oh, he's already been offered him. I just don't know. Now, does it change because at Michigan State, I'm just going to give a little inside information that I've already broke on my show. They would have fucking hired a coach already if Urban Meyer told them to get fucked. So just so we're clear, why haven't they hired a coach? You think it's about to be recruiting season? It's Thanksgiving, Sean. You know, and I know they want a damn coach in there right now to get on the road, and they would have hired somebody if Urban said get fucked. So either Urban's waiting on A&M and knew what was going on. These agents know just like the rest of us. Man. They know what's happening, and Urban's probably got 5 options. He may have Penn State in his ear right now. He may have A&M. he may have someone else. So we don't know who's in Urban's ear, but I'm telling you right now, he's going to be number one at about 5 places, and he's going to have to make a decision. And
Could
then
you imagine him in the SEC, man? That'd be dope, man.
Oh, I can
I would love
imagine,
that.
and I imagine. I think we're going to see it. At some, I do.
Well, you know, here's one thing I do know: these fucking football programs got a lot of fucking money, man. Like A&M, I mean, the money they have, they're going to just pay a $75 million buyout, and they probably still have a couple $100 million in the coffers to go out and hire somebody else. You know, it's amazing how much money these football programs.
That gas and oil money ain't bad, is it?
Never runs out.
And when those guys want something done, the big boys, they'll get something done.
Hey, they're like our boys, the Saudis. If they want it, they'll get it.
Yeah.
Money talks.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate you guys jumping on here. We're gonna get into this Sunday slate. The Colts and the Patriots are on right now over in over the pond, wherever they are. Sean,
Frankfurt, Germany.
Yeah, Germany, Sean. I know you and I and Jeff are all tired and exhausted, but you know, God forbid the guy making millions of dollars couldn't show up today. J.C. Jackson needed a mental reset week, so he just said, "I'll fucking take the week off." So I know you guys feel for him. I'm gonna move on. So they don't have their starting corner. Good job. I love the guys that sit out. Devin Booker, me and Pat, we love him. He gets about 900 clicks.
So, Coach, I just want to say something. So I'm only a podcaster. Okay, my job's pretty easy. I don't have a real tough life. But like the thought of me, my father died a month ago. The thought of me stopping my show for 1 week, because it'll fuck me, it'll screw me. I can't do it. Like the little things that I do and we do and all do, like we have a job to do. Everybody has a job to do. You know, if you work at a bank, the CEO don't give a fuck that somebody died. You got to be there. They might give you a day off or something, but that's about it. These fucking NFL players, because their head ain't right for a fucking week, you just, you know, like that kid at Ole Miss. I'm depressed, so I'm just not going to call nobody
because he got benched. Get the fuck out of here.
And then I'm gonna record someone without their consent and play it. This is what is going on in this.
What a quality human. What a quality kid he is, man. Just what you want on your team. Yeah, not only am I yanking that scholarship, I'm going to have security escort your ass out the building, too. Listen, I don't make –
That's why I wouldn't fucking take these portal kids, man. That's why I would change the game. If I get a job, if somebody gave me a job, I'm going to change this fucking game. I'm going to hire Sean. Sean's going to come coach the QBs. He's going to – and every other word he's going to be demanded in his contract. Sean, every other word needs to be fuck when you coach these QBs.
You don't even have to put that in the contract. I'll give you that one for free, okay? I'll give you that one for free. But you guys are so right. Listen. I know. I think all of us know what rock bottom looks like in our life, right? Us three. I'm not going to speak for others. I know I do, and it sucked. And I know the mental toll and emotional and physical toll it took when you lose a job, lose a house, lose a dad, all in the same 6 months. Yeah, it took a toll, and then but still got to show up to work if somebody's hiring you. I just listen. I do not shake a stick at or make fun of or laugh at mental health. I don't. I know, and I sure as hell not going to judge from a distance mental health. But when in these cases, Jeff, and JB, now if your wife's having a baby, if your kids are sick, there's something seriously going on in your life, then take care of it. I get that. But I'll tell you what's not good enough, because now what we're using the mental health card for some
crutch
as a crutch that now the ones who really do need the mental health attention aren't getting it, because most people are like,
if I woke up with mental fucking health,
yes.
I'm probably not thinking about recording somebody if I really got mental fucking health.
He's got some mental health, and one of them's a character flaw. Okay, doing that kid. So
he sounds like a sociopath.
Yeah, like J.C. Jackson. What is a mental reset? The week before you want to play, I mean, now, like I said, if somebody passed away, somebody's really sick. I get the family. I do. I don't know if you're having a divorce. I mean, but even if you're having a disagreement with your wife or girlfriend, guess what? You still got to show up to work. You know what you want to do is, for me, like I said, I do understand them, and I will never. But this to me reeks of I'm just not into it. Now go and tell that guy, J.C. Jackson, you're not getting paid until you show back up, and he will be in Frankfurt, Germany. Okay, unless it's an illness, a sickness, a death in the family, your kid's being born, there's complications with the pregnancy for your family. I get all that, like I said, but to me, what the fuck is a mental reset? We need
Well,
one of
also,
those every day. What is it? It's
this is also real quick.
stuck.
This is also the same guy who didn't he not show up to like just be honest with what's going on with yourself. Listen, the problem with the society now is everybody's the victim, right?
Yep.
I'm the victim. It's not my fault. My alarm didn't go off, and then my car. Fucking find a way. Get a fucking Uber and make sure you're there. Like. Right. Everybody has a fucking victim card. Everybody, when they don't want to fucking face something, and JC Jackson knows damn well that he could pull this mental card and
reset, Jeff. We call it a reset. That's political correctness now. Instead of saying I don't want to play.
And the team will get shit from the media if they say, well, you have a fucking contract. Like there's certain things you're painted into a corner now because of what society has told us we can and can't. We can't say, get the fuck over it. Like be there. There's something going on here, and we don't know what it is. But yeah, this whole reset thing, he's a fucking punk.
Here's the thing I want to do: if you're having a mental reset and something's going on, share it with us so we can help you as far as maybe somebody's not ripping you on social media. So if you need something, I don't know, somebody may need a ride somewhere. Call somebody there. If we don't know what the problem is now, if it's ultra personal, that's fine. But a mental reset tells me that you're just a little tired of the season. I guess I don't know. I'm trying not. If my dad didn't go to work as a construction worker, my dad didn't get paid.
You know what? I also will tell you this. The one common thing in all of our lives that will never stop: ruthless bill companies. Your fucking dad dies. Fuck you.
They don't care. Right?
Yeah. I don't give a shit that you're. Find a way. And if you don't do it, we're not only gonna fuck with you. We're gonna shut your shit off. They don't, bills don't stop coming in for regular people.
Well, I just heard this morning that a community in Wisconsin, a small town in Wisconsin, decided that they'd bring it up in their town meetings or their meetings that they don't want
Jimbo.
They don't want red. They don't want red and green colors at Christmas because it's like not inclusive. Now we have gotten to the point. Because I know when I wake up and walk in and look at a Christmas tree or see the colors of the Christmas and stuff, my first thought is how dare them do green and red? They're not including me. It's just everything. It's like, I don't get it. I never will. And somebody sat in that meeting and said, you know what? That green and red thing, you're exactly right. Let's stop this. Get snowflake colored.
Hey, guys, Jimbo Fisher got fired.
Well, there you go. Well, so much there you go. So they stepped out in front of it instead of waiting. So back to JC Jackson. Jimbo's going to get a mental reset whether he wants one or not.
Here's my point to this, though, before we move on. We've been saying that. We get through these games. Not as many games as the last 2 weeks, but the whole reset thing and going back to who's getting hired and fired in this thing. This is a recyclable business, Jeff, to your point. The guys that are out there that actually win, there's 3 of them. They're not leaving either one of those schools, Clemson, Georgia, or Alabama. So those 3 guys are not going to get poached. But Jimbo will be the fucking head coach at Penn State or whatever. Whoever else loses a job, he's
he'll get hired at like a smaller team. Yeah, for sure.
It's recyclable business. It's recyclable.
And it's a great way to make a fuck ton of money. $75 million, go hang out for a couple of months, figure out what you want to do, and that's
if somebody's crazy enough to pay him $100 million, I'm dumb enough to take it. I can tell you that. I need a mental reset from this fucking show. After 20 minutes of it, I'm already ready for a mental reset.
No shit. God damn, Sean's ready to go fucking drink and smoke some food. I'm smoking today. I'm smoking some meat today, Sean.
That sounds awesome.
All right, let's get into this game. Culture up 7-3. What a fucking shootout going into the fourth quarter in Germany. What a god awful game that is.
Jeff, I love you, man. When I look at you and I get Jeff ready to explode stuff on some of this stuff, I fire me up, man.
I mean, I'm just getting to the point, man. I've said it on Coach's show a couple of times, man. Like, I have an end game for my life. Someday, all this will be a fucking memory to me. I'll be living somewhere where it's a normal society. Normal stuff is accepted again. It's almost like I'm living in a fucking another world.
No, you're with Rod Serling's Twilight Zone. That's what we're living in. What they talked about on Rod Serling's in 1960, you're living in the Twilight Zone, is now the United States of America.
You would have loved
where we are, brother.
Coach, you would have loved this conversation last night I was in with this chick next to me. I'm talking to her. She's very like worldly. You could she's very liberal. You can tell. Like she's got the, the hair, and she's selling to me that there's more than two genders. She's like adamant about it.
Oh fuck.
And like it was a fascinating conversation. And everything I said, it was like, well, but we just believe what we're told, and it's like, how do we actually? And it's like, no, like, and that's like arguing with these people is like
that's
he
where
said,
we're
like,
at. They're in la la land. I'm just telling you, bro. Sean, I'd argue, Sean, and we don't even dive into this political shit, but I'll argue that those people that Jeff was talking to and the people that think that way have real mental health.
You think? Now they need a mental reset, because to my knowledge, in all the I have not quite yet discovered what do we have? There's 3, Jeff. There's more than 2. You said genders. Is that what you said? There's a 3rd or a 4th. What is it?
But it's funny if you actually go to Google and type in how many genders are there. Like generally, like 20 years ago, if you did that, it would just say male, female. Now, if you actually type that in, there are like all these different things. Like it's
yeah.
What,
well,
that's crazy.
Let's do a deep dive into that for next Sunday. Okay.
Hey, before we do get started on the NFL thing, I got to ask you, Sean and Jeff. I know we've talked about it a little bit, Jeff, but this show hasn't seen it. I want to give you my top 5 teams in the NFL, and I wanted to give that out there so when we make our picks, people kind of know where we are. Here's mine, and I wanted to also give you my top 5 QBs right now that are playing right now. But right now, today, this is my top 5. Sean, I don't know if you want to massage that, move it around if I'm missing somebody, but the Jags are on the hottest winning streak. I think they're going to give the Niners their 4th consecutive loss today. The Chiefs are defending champs. They're going to keep that, real good record in a bad West, AFC West. The Bengals, I think, are the best football team right now playing the way they are. And then the Ravens, I'm going to keep them at 1 for now because they are dominant. They dominated.
Yeah, but Coach, this is where I get off the train with you. Okay, the Eagles are 8-1. They're the best team in the NFL, Coach. I know you don't want to again, if it's right now they're 8-1. The other 2 teams are 5-3 and 7-2. I know you don't want to, Coach, but you have to put them number 1. I just think until they lose again, you got to do it.
Yeah, for me, I like the 5 teams I'm not arguing with. For me,
yeah,
I would, and I'm with you. I don't want to listen. The way C.J. Stroud's playing, this is an underrated quarterback matchup that I'm sure we'll talk about with Burrow and Stroud. It's going to be a blast to watch, right? I can't wait to see it today. So. But then the way Burrow's playing, you're like, man, I don't know if I want to deal with this offense right now. But for me, I would take those 5 teams and I would shuffle them. The Eagles would be 1. I would have the Ravens sitting in a 2-hole. I would have just on top. This is for the body of work, not just the recency bias, the body of work. So it would go Eagles, Ravens. Then I would have to put the Chiefs 3, Bengals 4, Jags 5, or even the Jaguars 4 and the Bengals 5. So for me, yeah, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, probably Jags, and then Bengals because of the full body work. Yet, if we just put that down, say Sean compartmentalize into recent play, well, the Bengals aren't going to be 5th. I had the Bengals in a Super Bowl. I had the Bengals and Ravens in the AFC Championship game. And so, but right now, just about the Eagles, to me, have to be number 1. Even when they're not playing well, they're still finding ways to win. And until somebody knocks them off, it goes Eagles first for me.
We've also moved the goalpost with the Eagles. Oh, they haven't played anybody. But remember, they beat the Dolphins, who up until they played the Eagles were the great, offense, the best offense in the league. They beat Dallas. You got to.
Well, they played people. I'm not worried about their schedule. I don't buy into that. They're 8-1 and have damn well earned it.
Yeah.
So see, Jeff's moving the goalposts. Jeff talks about schedule all the time. He calls the Miami Dolphins most overrated team in the league.
But the thing is,
I agree with you, though. I agree with you on Miami Dolphins, but it doesn't help the Eagles. And I'm going to be honest. If you know football, if you're sitting here going to tell me the Eagles are playing better than the Cincinnati Bengals and the Jaguars right now, Jeff, you're
8-1.
The Eagles aren't playing that good.
It doesn't, but they're 8-1 bro. That's all that matters.
But I'm talking about
JB, if you're saying now, I don't think you're not going to get much argument from me that the Cincinnati Bengals can beat anybody today. That I'm
Now-
just, for me, if we're talking about if that's your teams for this week, then I get it, JB. If you're saying this is my weekly teams, and I know what you're saying, like I said, I got zero argument with those 5 teams. I think those, because I can make the argument, damn, the Minnesota Vikings have been playing some pretty damn good football recently too, yet they're not a top 5 team. We know that, obviously. So for me, I'm just taking the full body of work. It may be ugly a little bit of what Philly's doing, but I'll guarantee you, if Philly and Cincinnati played right now, it'd be one hell of a football game. So I'm just going by the first 10 weeks of the season, 9 games. Yeah. I think Philadelphia has to be in this.
And on a neutral field, the Philadelphia Eagles would be favored against every team in the NFL.
And these 5, they'll be favored against all 5 of those that are in that thing. But JB, again, I get your point, Jess, but I'm a full body of work. I don't give 2 shits about who they've played. They only can play the schedule that's dealt to you. And every year, the team that sucked from the year before gets in the playoffs the next year.
But Coach, look at, for instance, in college football, Ohio State is probably not the number 1 actual team in the country, but their body of work and what they've done is, you have to put it at the top. It's similar.
Yeah, because I think
8-1.
To me, if Georgia played Ohio State today, Georgia's 7th. They got to be a touchdown favorite in that national on a neutral field. I would no way I'd take Ohio State to beat Georgia right now. There is no friggin' way. I'm not sure they can beat Florida State or Michigan either. I think they're really good, but you get the point. To me, it's right now until you punch Georgia in the mouth and prove to me you can beat them. They're wearing the belt, so somebody go take it from. But that's the way polls are.
Ohio State jumped them. Like to me, it sounds like a setup for the whole Jim Harbaugh deal. Like
I don't either. But how do you take Ohio State down? They just won again, 38-3. Exactly what they're supposed to do.
Can't punish them for kicking ass.
How did you put them at 1? Is my question though. How do you put over a guy? How do you put him over a team who hasn't lost in fucking 3 years, bro?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's called a committee that's a little bit. Would you just tell me you got them? I don't know. Georgia looked pretty good to me.
Real quick, Jeff, Sean, QBs, Sean.
What a surprise!
Right now, as far as playing right now, I just think the way they're playing right now. Jeff thinks that Trevor Lawrence is playing like shit, but they're on the longest winning streak in NFL.
I don't think I think he has been very good. Today's a big test. That's a good defense he's going to play. I have no issue with Burrow number 1. I think this is a fine list.
Yeah, great. I'll be if we're splitting hairs here. If you really now you're talking about the body of work, right? Not recent play, because Burrow is much. I'd take him. I'd be hard pressed if you said start a franchise for the next 8 years, not taking Burrow. I'd have a hard time not making him my first guy. I love him, but if you're talking about full body work and the first 2 games of the season, 3-game season, they weren't good. Now Burrow's doing what he always does: start slow and then go get close to winning an MVP. The guy you got at 5, and I'm a Raider fan. I mean, I live in Houston, but I can tell you now, we have never seen a rookie play this well at that position. And I'm just telling you guys, I watch every one of their games minimum of 2 times and go back, watch it, then watch it on tape and get dissect a little deeper like you two do as well. But with CJ Stroud, guys, this isn't sideways football, protect the ball, protect a rookie quarterback. This dude is dropping back, putting his foot in the ground, letting it rip, layering all 3 levels of throws and leading the league in 20-plus yard completion percentage. They're not backing off. He's got a rookie head coach, a rookie offensive coordinator. He's a rookie, and his best receiver is a rookie on a team that won 3.5 games. There is nobody, aside from the guy that's in Minnesota that's hurt right now, who was playing better than anybody at the position before he got hurt, that touches shit from everybody every year, and I understand why, but was putting it up. The guy you're watching in Houston right now, CJ Stroud, is playing better than any of them.
But right hold now. On, though. Coach, and this is, I think, where your hate for this guy, Lamar should be on that list, dude.
Yes, he should.
I mean, seriously.
By the way, if I'm picking right now in the NFL,
he's 3rd in the ratings for MVP.
Yeah, I get it. In the NFL, though, to actually build a program, an organization, and I said it on week 1. I have a tweet out there. I still get comments on. I said CJ Stroud is already better than Lamar Jackson week fucking 1. And
let me ask you, if let's say tomorrow you have a one-off game and you need to select one quarterback between Stroud and Lamar to win the game, you're going to pick Stroud over Lamar this season.
all day, every day.
And also with that too,
Wow.
the one thing about Stroud, he's also playing with his fourth-string center. They've been making sure it's just the kids doing stuff that it's like the last time we saw anybody slinging around kind of like this when they were rookies. You know, Peyton led the league in interceptions with 28. Elway got booed. Aikman, they weren't winning. It was back in 1983, Marino's rookie year. And to think about it, the next year, and he didn't have these numbers. The next year, Danny's team went to the Super Bowl and got beat by San Francisco. So they had a pretty loaded roster. Think about the rosters these guys are on. This guy, they were supposed to be first, second, or third with the picking again next year with the worst roster in the league, meaning the Houston Texans. Now, with that, go look at JB just in the Lamar Jackson fight on his side, and I love Lawrence too. I want you guys to pull up Lamar Jackson and Trevor Lawrence's numbers. And they're probably within I'm talking about touchdowns. One's 9-3, the other's 9 touchdowns to 4 picks. Well, their yardage is damn near mirror image within 100 yards or 50 yards, I think. They are carbon copy statistics damn near. Lamar, and we're not mentioning Lawrence much for MVP, and Lamar is. Now, I think Lawrence deserves more love, but I can't. I forgot Lamar wasn't even on the list. See what he's doing, and JB, I know why you don't. I get it. Now, if we were talking about, okay, let's go through the mechanics and the position that I know you like to coach, it's not going to fit what you believe in, the successful, sustained success from that position. But right now, the leading candidate for the most valuable player in the league is going to be Lamar Jackson. Now, right. Second, I'm just telling you, if C.J. Stroud throws for 3+ today and they win on the road, and he goes, let's say he throws 3 touchdowns, no picks, and for 320, and they win on the road, and they have no run game. There is no way you wake up on Monday morning and that these TV shows and radio shows across the country have now not thrust them as a plus 500 team now. And in his 5 wins, if they win today, every single one of them, the team is plus 500. Saints defense. I mean, he got beat by Baltimore, but hung in there. He beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. While I get it, today is a signature game for this is a big one. I'm only pubbing him because we don't see this very often, guys. We just don't.
I know.
And the Lamar Lawrence thing's an argument. But if you guys look at their numbers, am I right or wrong? Aren't their numbers damn near mirror images of each other? And think about the narrative. JB, you don't like him. Others do. And they play a different game. But we got about 6 or 7 that are in rarefied air right now. And, Mahomes is just getting things done. That's just who he does with different weapons. And this guy banged up and Kelsey gets hurt and comes back. So he and Burrow are always going to live in there, and Josh Allen's shouldn't be in that top 5 or 6 either, the way turning it over too much.
I also want to say one thing. I mean, you talk about the level of how many there's just not many good quarterbacks in the NFL. You've got people in this chat that are legitimately serious and trying to tell you that Sam Howell should be in the top 5 quarterbacks right now. Listen, guys, come on. I mean, what are we doing here? You got another guy in here that's saying this, that Howell's the top of quarterback. He's also saying that we should put Goff over Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is probably the MVP right now. As far as, look, has he been great? I think. I mean, he's injured as well. He's killing it. But you look at some of the
MVP who's turned the ball over that many times, bro.
I'm just telling you what the odds are telling you. That's all.
And Mahomes has thrown 8 picks himself. I think that's too many.
Let's stop with the Sam Howell crap. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. Now, I think Howell's put himself in position to be their future because he really is responding well to Eric Bieniemy's offense. I'll give him credit. He's not a top 5 quarterback. Now, Detroit keeps winning and Goff gets on one of those rolls that he's always on where he's throwing for a lot. I think Goff's doing a hell of a job, and it's very understated, but he's not the MVP of the league. But they're going to win the division and have a chance because they can score from the parking lot.
I don't know if you guys have seen this video right here. Take a look at this video.
At this point in his career, even though Lamar has a MVP and he's more dynamic in what he does. But I think the results that Burrow has, come up with, speak for themselves. Not saying that that can't change any given day, but I'd give Burrow the nod for what he's been able to accomplish.
I don't have an argument. Burrow's a better all-around player. Burrow's a better quarterback. Yeah, Lamar's a better all-around athlete and quarterback.
To Jeff's point, I wanted to ask Jeff, what NFL players that are in the league, in the same league that Lamar plays in, has ever come out and just been like, fuck, Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback? Nobody.
No.
They know, bro. Keep his ass in the fucking pocket and play zero. He can't beat you.
But
I'm just
again,
telling you.
But he's the hardest one to game plan for, too, because he drives you nuts.
And also, if you've listened to me talk over the years, I'm not his biggest fan. The truth of the matter, though, is your thing said right now. And right now, he is a top 5 quarterback in the league. Just is. And again, maybe that just shows you how bad the position is. Is there 10 great quarterbacks in this league? No. But again, Lamar.
I move. This is why people think I move the needle, but it's really the truth, just like you speak every day. Here's the reason
why. Also, you mean move the goalpost?
Yeah, or the needle. Yeah, because
you're a needle mover. It's a good thing.
Yeah. When your dick moves. So here's the thing. When Lamar Jackson, I'm just going to bring this up real quick and we can move on. But let me ask you something real quick. Put Lamar in Cincinnati. Is he the same as he is right now? I don't believe so. I believe the wideouts are too good for him, and he's not a pocket passer, which is going to sound crazy to the fucking casual fan out there, but you have no clue. You cannot run the same system Burrow's running in Cincinnati with Lamar Jackson. I hope Sean would agree to that. Number 2, Trevor Lawrence. Is Lamar having the same year in Jacksonville? No, he's not, bro. And guess what? Lamar Jackson in Kansas City is probably atrocious. And don't even talk about the Eagles, because the Eagles have the same wideout group almost as the Bengals. And
gonna fly like an eagle. Oh, sorry.
In Texas, put Lamar with the Texans. Put him in Chicago, Jeff. Let's see how fucking good Lamar is in Chicago. See, that's the thing. You guys don't think about it. You got to equate a guy that's great and put him anywhere. Sean Salisbury could have played anywhere in the NFL when he was playing. Because guess what? It's plug and play. We don't have those guys no more. There's a scheme that you had to devise for Lamar Jackson. You have to run RPO, double and triple option. You're not going to sit him in the pocket and fucking dissect coverage. Yeah, it's just not what he's going to do. So there's only a few teams he can play for.
I mean, JB, when you're watching film, when you say scheme D's, you know what you do, right? You scheme D's nuts, right? You were about to buy it. I saved you for buying. You're about to say scheme D's defenses? Yeah.
They're going to fucking buy it.
For the third time.
First slate. We got to get these guys their picks. Much love to everybody. Pound the like button so we can get 500 likes in here and break the algorithm. Texans Bengals are right out the gate, Sean, right in your backyard. Well, they're in Cincinnati, but you're going to watch that game closely. Texans 4-4. Jeff and I talked about them even being an outside shot at a playoff team. I mean, if they win the game, they're 5-4. The same with the Bengals. Unbelievably as that sounds. Jeff, we're leaning on you today. It's in Cincy -5.5. The Bengals are playing as well as anybody. I could actually see them putting their foot on Texans' throat today. And then I can also see C.J. Stroud doing what nobody thought he could do and dissect the Bengals' weak secondary for the most part. I don't know. Tank Dell, my kid, has been having a great year. He got hurt a little bit, but he balled last week. I'm still rolling with the Bengals and Joe Burrow. I think they're on a heater, as you would say. But where you at, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, with the way Joe Burrow's playing, it's hard to fade Cincinnati right now. Defensively, they've looked damn good. And one thing about the Houston Texans that we do need to talk about is the level of competition they've played. I know we're not going to talk about schedules, but remember, it hasn't been great. This has also been a really bad pass defense. They've gotten beaten up all season. Keep in mind, throw in the fact Nico Collins is out. It's going to put a lot more pressure on Stroud. Though he has played well, I'm just not sure they're ready to step up and do this. Look at the one game they stepped up and they got absolutely pulverized by the Ravens. Again, that was early in the season, but it's hard right now to go against Joe Burrow. Anything under 7, this fact is under 6 even is nice. Texans have also been significantly better at home than on the road. I think this is a good spot. Anything under 7 to lay it with the Cincinnati Bengals. It's hard to fade them right now.
Yeah, as much as I talked about the Texans all week and the way Stroud's played, and Stroud could actually go play well today, and they still get beat by double digits. That could very easily happen.
Well, look at the Raven game. He wasn't bad in that game, and they still lost big.
They're going to be aggressive, and they're going to attack. You're going to have to. And what the Texans can't do is get into this point of, well, Joe Burrow's over there. He's playing. So, let's try to shorten the game and force a run down their throat because they can't run it right now. They're just not good enough to do it. And you got to go with what got you, and that's being aggressive and putting your best player the ball in his hands and see if he can still continue to be efficient, protect the ball, still be aggressive, all those things that are tough to do. I got Cincinnati in this too. I think it'd be, and if all of a sudden the Texans pull this off and we get a bad beat out of it, well, then you're willing to deal with it. But I think this is a touchdown and a field goal, 9.10. It wouldn't surprise me if they won by double digits. I don't think 5.5 is enough. And that sits on because Stroud's played so damn well and D'Amico's got him going. Give me Cincinnati in this one. And if Burrow's jersey's clean, the ball may not hit the ground.
Jamar's in, but Higgins is out, I think.
Yeah.
This reminds me, though, a bit of Detroit a couple of weeks ago. We were all buying into Detroit. They then come in and play Baltimore and get curb stomped. Look, Houston's getting there. They're significantly better than they've been in the past. We know that. But are they ready to compete on this level against the hottest team in the league? I don't think.
Asking that guy to play great every week is tough, Jeff, right? Stroud, I'm talking about. To have to say, dude, if you don't play well, we got no chance. And at some point this year, one of those 2 or 3 turnover games is probably going to happen. It happens to all of them, right? Every single one of us. And maybe not. Maybe he's just that unique, but I just think the Bengals are too good right now.
And also, not for nothing, I know no one wants to hear this because we have to also kiss the ring because it's C.J. Stroud. And look, the kids played well, but they played the Bucks, lost to the Panthers, the Saints, the Falcons, and the Steelers over the last 5 games. This is a big step up. Bengals win by double digits to me.
The injuries are on the ticker below for everybody out there that wants to know about their injuries and who's not playing and who's is. That's pretty accurate, up to date right there. The green is obviously a go. The yellow is to be determined game time decision. Red is obviously IR or out. So there's some updated injuries on the bottom there. We all agree on the Bengals. Saints Vikings. I don't know if you guys know this, but you do know this, but I don't think people are going to talk about it. This game has huge implications in an NFC that is going to be really, really finite down the deal here because, as I know, Dobbs is going to take the reins here in Minnesota. I love the kid to death for what he's doing. Shit, he's got to be some type. They should make an award for what that kid's gone through. But Minnesota and the Saints here, it's in Minnesota. Both of them play in domes anyway. I don't believe that's really a huge home field advantage, Jeff, for either one of these teams. Who you got? This one's tough.
I think if you're going to come in as a backup quarterback, I don't think there's a lot of places worse than coming in and being in Minnesota. They've got some good skill position players, even without Justin Jefferson. I don't have any interest in laying points with Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. Just not a good bet to make. Throwing the fact that it's a road game. I think Josh Dobbs is solid in a league where it's hard to find any legitimate quarterback. He's a decent backup. This team's playing pretty well. I think defensively, Saints are probably a little bit better, but I give the Vikings a lot of advantage being at home. The fact that they're a dog is appetizing to me. I think they win this game. I just don't want to back the New Orleans Saints as a favorite. Just don't.
Yeah, as much as I loved what Dobbs did, I'm with you, JB. I think this is a phenomenal to be able to walk out of one system, go in with a few days, and you're just trying to find out where your apartment is or your hotel is, and to go do what he did and be efficient and then use his legs as a check down. I want to pick the Vikings, but I can tell you now, man, the Saints are getting better. Dennis Allen's not – I don't think he's going to be the head coach next year unless they go on some run. But, I know the up and down with Carr, but their offense is getting – they're starting to score some points, and they do have a playoff defense. I'm going to flip this. I'm going to say the Saints beat them by a field goal as much as it pains me because I like it. But I don't know how you can sustain without your best players that success. And I'm pulling for Dobbs like you can't believe. But I actually think the Saints go on the road. There's a reason this number. I like the Saints in this game just because I think their offense is starting to pick it up a little bit, and the versatility will be the difference today.
I think that's a really good breakdown by you. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of over the last 10 games, they've laid points. They've covered one time. I cannot lay points with this team. And look, I'll tell you this. I would definitely look around if you're wanting to bet this game. Try to find a solid 3. If it falls in a field goal, at least you get your money back. Yep. I don't want to play 2.5 if I'm the Vikings. Give me a full 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet this game. The emotional side, I wouldn't do it. But I still think the Saints' defense is going to be a little bit of a difference today.
I'm gonna roll with the Dobbs wagon. I'm gonna take the Vikings. They're on a heater as well. This game's a needed one. So I'm gonna roll with the Vikings at home. Packers Steelers, another early game. 1 p.m. kickoff Eastern, 10 a.m. on the West Coast. Packers Steelers. This is Packers beat a damaged goods Rams team with no Stafford last week. Love has been hit and miss. It's in Pittsburgh. I got to roll with Tomlin on this one. Pittsburgh -3. Where you at, Jeff? 3.5 now.
I mean, I can't bet the Steelers. This offense is so putrid. They lead the league in 3 and outs. I mean, they're bad offense. They've won saving grace, Pickens at times, but it's just a question of can they sustain drives. I also, look at the Packers. I don't want to bet this team either. I mean, I just think both these teams are just dead ducks. I don't want to bet them. I don't want to get involved with them. I don't know how to wager on them. And I think this number just says that maybe the Steelers are a little bit better and you give the edge to like a Tomlin, but it's hard for me to trust the quarterback play for either of these teams. I want nothing to do with this game. I don't think we're going to see much of it on our TVs because I don't think there's going to be many touchdowns. I think you just lean under the total. I think this is probably first to 20 wins.
Yeah, I would lean on the underside as well. If somebody said, Sean, you have to bet it, I'm taking Pittsburgh. I think they'll get a defensive touchdown or a field flipper today on a strip sack, fumble, short field. That's what they need for their offense. Give me Mike Tomlin, but in like a 17-10, 17-13. What is the number at again, Jeff? The over/under, real quick.
39.
Okay, yeah. I'd take the under and give me the Steelers, but it'll be an ugly 3.5.
Keep in mind, in eight games this season, the Steelers went under 7 of their 8 games. This offense, this defense is solid, and you can't trust Jordan Love either. And their defense has been okay. Yep. I would be very surprised if this game gets into the 40s. And every game you look at this season in the NFL, 61% of the games have gone under the total. That is a huge.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're up about $1,500 if you bet every game under the season. So
and this has Rutgers and Iowa written all over it. No pun intended with the colors of the Pittsburgh Steelers uniforms, but the under was the lowest, I think, in
ever
3 decades, maybe 26 points, and it was 22. Yeah, still. That's why I always say it. Whenever it's the lowest under of the week, I'm always apt to bet it. The fans, my buddies, they love the over. Love the over, just like they love betting the big popular game, right? Now,
that's how it works with bettors, man. The reason that these casinos make so much money is you go into a sports book today, most individuals are betting favorites and overs. It's the same in every sport. Nobody wants to watch a 13-6 type of game. They just don't. But I'll tell you this, I get watching a college basketball team defend, I love it.
I do too. I like Kelvin Sampson's team here in Houston. Oh, yeah. College hoops is my favorite to bet, number one, but also
people don't want to watch that, Coach.
Yeah, I do, because I like when you just shut them down and contest every friggin' shot. I'm with you, Jeff. I know we want to watch guys up and play above the rim and dunk and score 102, but I like a 62-60 Tom Izzo versus Kelvin Sampson type game where they're battling, physical, and nasty. But this one should be an ugly game. Steelers win, though, but take the under.
Yeah, I'm with you. Another morning game, 1:00 p.m. Pacific. Titans Bucks, interesting game. Both 3-5 as well. Bucks. Jeff was picking them early on. They shocked me. They were playing well. Baker's just come back to show me that that's the movie I'm expected to see every week. He is who I thought he was. Titans are 0-4 on the road. Damn, it's in Raymond James. This has to be a pick 'em. I don't know. I think Vrabel's on the hot seat as we get longer and longer in this season. Will Levis is probably who they're rolling with for the future. Where you at, Jeff?
So this is another game that screams under to me. I think just the quarterback play for both these teams is average. I think the thing that we have to remember, the Bucs give up a lot of yards, but they don't allow teams to score touchdowns, which is important. The Titans have been poor in the red zone. Look, Will Levis, I think, is trying down there. We know Vrabel's good as a dog, but I feel like both these teams, the tops kind of come off a little bit, and they're kind of a mess right now. I don't have interest in betting either. Two of these teams both have been good defensively. Both are 6-2 to the under this season. This is another game that I think is very low scoring. Again, first to 17, 20 wins. I don't trust either team. I like under again.
Give me the under. Very little interest in watching this football game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. Before we get to the big boy this morning, Browns-Ravens is another big game. this is a very, very competitive conference with the Bengals on the rise, and the Ravens and the Browns. Browns are right in the mix, 5-3. Ravens 7-2. Ravens dominated them earlier this year already. Baltimore -6.5. I find it's at home, so I guess the number is still interesting to me. Over under 38.5. This game could be 55 over, or it could be 25 under. I just don't get. I don't know this type of team. These two defenses and run games. Lamar either does what he's doing, but every other week he seems to be inconsistent. So I don't know where he's at against this Browns defense. I think the Browns got to get some get back. I think they got beat 30-3 or something week 1 they played. Where you guys at on this one?
I think one of the things I'm not going to tell you that I don't think Cleveland has an elite defensive line. They really do. This defense is great. We all know that. However, the key to stopping an elite defensive line is having an elite offensive line, which Baltimore has. A lot of the teams that Cleveland's played, the offensive lines have been shaky. I think this is a good spot again to back the Ravens. That you want to talk how good Lamar is. Talk how good this, people like Zay Flowers have been, the offensive line. I think that's kind of the difference in this game. We all know that the Browns have issues at the quarterback position. The Ravens have been a shutdown defense. I think Lamar has a big day. I think because of that offensive line having such success. The truth is, again, you look at the teams that Cleveland has played, very few are in the top 20 as far as offensive line passing grades. They're just not very good offensive lines, and the key to that is helping, and I think the Ravens have the offensive line that can neutralize them. Give me the Ravens. Anything under a touchdown. I'm going to lay it.
I actually think that Ravens are going to win this game, and I'm with you. I feel it's got like backdoor cover written all over it. I would take away if it was a point difference and like 5.5 points, I may think different. I'm going to think the Browns are going to get inside that number. I would not lay 6.5. You're smarter than I am at this, Jeff. But while I think the Ravens are really good, I think this is a bloody them up. Somebody make a play, somebody lay it on the ground, a couple 3-and-outs. I like the Browns, inside the number, but I wouldn't give 6.5. Ravens are going to win the game. Browns are going to win the bet. Take them.
I mean, this offensive line. I think outside of like the Eagles, maybe the Lions,
best in the league.
Yeah, the Ravens are just so elite, man, on up front.
And it's in their building too, so that's the hell of a
yeah.
I think the Browns are going to get some get back today. They have to, in my opinion. I don't know if they had Deshaun Watson when they played last game. Did they?
He played last week.
But I think to get involved here as a gambler, laying or getting 6.5 does nothing for you. You need to get above 7,
right?
Because again, this could be 24-17. And look, the Ravens could not play well, and the Browns could play super well, and they still could win by 7. Like you have to get above 7. It's just not a. Yeah. It's not a good spot to be in.
I agree. I think the Browns are going to win the game, though. I'm the guy that just picks the wins and losses. These two guys break it down for you, all you bettors out there, because they're way better than me. I think the Browns are going to get this win today. I think they have to, or you're going to be talking about Jim Harbaugh to Cleveland. The Falcons and the Cardinals. Missing the first morning game, the big one of the week. I think the Jaguars Niners game is going to be critical on a lot of fronts, but I think the Jaguars are going to stay as the hottest team in the NFL on the hottest winning streak. I think it puts the Niners at 4 losses in a row, and then we're going to have a lot of discussion to talk about tomorrow on everyone's shows. I got the Jags winning this game outright in Jacksonville at home in Duval. I got the Jags getting it done. I think the Niners get beat again. Break this one down, guys.
Jeff, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking as well. I really like the 49ers. I think there's a lot to I think in the NFC they're going to be just fine because there's no one good in the NFC. But again, this is a Jags team that's super resurgent. They've gotten better and better as the weeks gone on, or the weeks have gone on. Peterson's terrific. You mentioned they're at home. You also look at the betting splits in this game. 70% of the actual money being bet is on the Jags, signaling that that's the right side here. If you're going to give me 3 with a home dog who I think is playing better than the team they're playing, I'm gonna side with Jacksonville. I was thinking the other day, guys, wouldn't it be something if the Jaguars somehow get to the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles and it's Doug Peterson against his old team and Nick Sirianni? That would be interesting. That said, I like the Jags as well. I think Coach is onto something with this team. He's been talking about them for a while. I think that the Niners are what they are.
Which to me, I can't fathom coming out of a bye week that they're going to lose 4 in a row. With first 3 weeks, first month of the season, they were arguably the best team in the NFL with the way they played. Them in Philly. I mean, it was just like, man, they were scoring, they were defending. I like Jacksonville in the game too. We're strictly betting part of this now. At the beginning of the year on my show, I said I think the Jaguars are going to be in position late December to be home field advantage throughout the playoffs because of the division and the way that they've elevated coach, quarterback, and team. And Lawrence doesn't have to throw it 40 times a game to win. I'll take Jacksonville as well. I think this is going to be a great fourth quarter finish. San Francisco it's the NFC, but 4 in a row. Will Kyle Shanahan's name ever get to the point where we say, we've seen this? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, will that argument ever start? We put it on a lot of people. I mean, is it going to hit him as well? They got to find a way to win. They got too much talent, but I like Jacksonville.
Sean, I've said for years, I'm going to stand on the damn porch. He's the most overrated head coach in the history of NFL.
You've said that for a while, and I think you're starting to almost see it. We talked about college coaches that just can't seem to get over the hump. I will say this is a big barometer game for the Jacksonville Jaguars as a whole because we've seen them, they played the Chiefs, only scored 9 points, lost by 8. They need to find a way to win a game, right? We kind of feel like they're right on the fringe of being a really good football team. Say what you want. This is still a very good Niner group. They're at home. This is a great spot as a home dog. Trevor Lawrence is the better quarterback in this game. It's just the truth. I agree with Coach. I'm going to back Jacksonville here.
All right, 1 o'clock slate, 4 o'clock Eastern. Falcons, Cardinals, the return of the mental midget, Kyler Murray. He returns. I'm taking Falcons big just for the simple fact that this is not a quarterback that Jeff and Sean would agree that, he's not a guy like Kirk Cousins coming off the bench after a year out or Aaron Rodgers or where the team's just going to fucking be super elated that he's back. I don't believe his team fucking likes the guy. I truly think it's going to be a deflation over an inflation. I think the Falcons are going to mollywop them in Arizona. The Cardinals will go to 1-9.
Yeah, so these are 2 bad defenses, man. Grady Jarrett, guys have been out. I mean, the Falcons are just been kind of messy. I agree with you, Coach. I'm not a big Kyler guy, but I'll tell you this: as an underdog, he's actually been quite good in his career. But again, he's hard to back. Another game that I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on. I won't be watching it. I won't be betting it. If I had to lean, I would lean on the Cardinals just because they're at home, and I feel like if you can neutralize the Falcons' rushing attack, you can have some success. But these 2 teams, I have no interest in betting on. This is a pass for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And, JB, everything you said is spot on, and same with you, Jeff. The fact that I'm picking – they're at home, and I'm with you. I'm not sure that Kyler Murray gives them any more that emotional energy. I think there are some that think he's going to try to zap it from us. Yeah. But they are at home. I would imagine they're going to go in and – I mean, I would hope. I have a hard time rooting for anybody that tells me they don't prepare, or where I find out they don't prepare, that I got to put a clause in a contract. I have a real hard time with that. And there's some me in that. There's some I and me in his repertoire. But they'll win today, I think. Field goal, not a pretty game, obviously, because if Atlanta was at home and I'd take Atlanta. But as a dog at home, I know the Falcons are a better team. But I think they'll do enough to get through this. I would take Arizona by a field goal.
I will say this. I think the over is kind of attractive here. It's only 43. I mean, 24-21 gets you over the total. Heineke has made this offense a little bit better since they've inserted him. I think Kyler obviously will be better than what they've had there. I think the over's got some legs here late. I could see this 24-21.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Falcons – you're finally going to see, because I think the owner has forced the FedEx owner's son, Arthur Smith, to say, you better start playing Bijan Robinson. And I think they're going to get a heavy dose of Bijan today. I just have a gut feeling that Bijan's going to get a heavy dose, and I think that's going to neutralize the mental midget from getting more touches on offense, more series on offense. I think the Falcons dominate this time of possession.
Why do you call them that, by the way?
There'll be some chunk plays in this game, too. Some play action, big plays hit in this game for both teams.
Yeah. Why do you call him that, by the way? I don't.
Bijan?
No, Kyler.
Okay, because he's a midget and he's mental. So let's get into the next one is the Lions and the Chargers. It's another 1:00, 1:05 kickoff, 4:05 Eastern. Lions Chargers. This is a big game for both teams. Sean, I don't know, man. Herbert's falling off my. He's starting. Him and Josh Allen are in the same boat as me. To me, they're both freaks of nature, athletically gifted freaks. Reminds me of Elway and Marino and guys like that. You big, strapping, athletic, big arm. I just don't see the it factor in either one of these guys. Herbert's starting to fall off my radar. After getting paid, it seems like these guys get worse, which is crazy to me because of what Sean and I always discuss on the old Last Chance Q. These guys are so entitled and able. We give them more money, but yes, less results. It fucking blows my mind. I'm going to roll with Detroit here in L.A. They'll have more fans than L.A. will have, which is just another reason I don't watch the Chargers and the Rams anymore because the L.A. fan base is so fucking god-awful. Chargers, Lions. I'm rolling with the Lions in SoFi. Go ahead, Jeff.
So I think this is just one team going one way and another team going another. I think the Lions are legit. I think one of the reasons they've been so legit is they probably right now, according to most, have the best offensive line in the NFL. I mean, that's what makes Jared Goff so successful. They've got great playmakers. Defensively, they've been, I think, better than a lot of people thought. They're off a bye as well. And the Chargers just find ways and invent ways to lose. Defensively, they're a complete mess. They can't stop anybody. As you alluded to, Justin Herbert has kind of fallen off a cliff, quite honestly. I don't think this is a blow-up, but I think the Lions take care of business. I think anything under 3, I think it's one of the better plays of the week. I think you just have to recognize that the Detroit Lions are legit. They should be a favorite. They've covered 6 of their 8 games, and the defense is solid. I can't say the same thing for the Chargers. Though it's gotten a bit better, we still know it's a break defense, and they're just not getting the same quarterback play they've gotten. I like the Lions.
Jeff, you took the words right out of my mouth about the Chargers find ways to lose, and the Lions will find a way to win today.
Yeah.
They're more physical. Everybody looks at them as just like, well, are they finesse because they throw? No, they'll move the pile, and they're really good up front. And if it gets down to a coaching decision, I trust Dan Campbell far more than I trust what's going on in week in and week out of Brandon Staley. So I don't know why the Chargers talent should say Super Bowl contender. The Chargers execution and sustaining greatness says they're just a guy. They're just another team. Give me Detroit. Detroit is real, and Detroit's going to be dangerous in January, I assure you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The next game is I'm curious to get Jeff's take on this one on the spread and Sean's take on this on the actual breakdown, because it's got to be one of the bigger NFL spreads I've seen in a while. Giants, of course, are decimated by everything from head case to injury. In Arlington, 17.5. Cowboys minus 17.5, but the over-under is only 38.5. Am I tripping, or does that make sense, Jeff? I'm tripping.
Tommy DeVito, they can't score. Is he playing again today?
Yeah.
I want Jeff to talk. They're going to run it. I don't think the point spread's high enough. It's a college point spread.
I don't know if you heard the story. He lives with his mom. She makes his bed still. She cooks for him. He's fucking super comfortable at home. I don't know if you saw it. Bailey, if you could find that picture, it'd be great. This is why the NFL and the football is becoming straight pussy. But this guy lives with his mom and expects his bed to be made every day. I mean, it's fucking unbelievable.
I will say this.
It's a good thing if you can get it, right, JB? I'm in. I get it, but
hey, Sean, I just beat the Cowboys, Mom. Thanks. I don't want to go get no pussy or a beer, but I'm going to stay with you. Let's watch Friends.
So I will say, I'm not sticking up for him, but keep in mind he is very Italian. That is very normal in that society. A lot of them stay at home. That's just what they do. They're big on family. We know that. Coach, this is big in like North Jersey where he's from. That's big. This kid will be at home till he's 32, and the girl he gets will come and sleep in his bed with him, and that's normal. That said,
Hey, you got to keep, if you're going to be on the couch, make it out. Make sure you keep your jeans on, and really that friction that like burns it like every 16-year-old in high school did. There you go. Keep the jeans on. Mom and dad may walk out. There you go. 32. I feel you. Yep, good call.
I got the pesto ready. Go. What are you doing?
I have to wonder though, like, I think he's playing it up. Do I think he's going home and sleeping in his bed with the stars in the ceiling in his childhood room? Probably not.
What do you mean in music playing where they wind it up? Yeah, I would imagine that's probably not the case either, right? But JB never likes to take it to another level. The guy's not getting laid. He's at home eating what? Like leftover rigatoni? Is that what you're trying to tell me, JB?
My whole thing is I feel like he probably lives like close to them or something. He plays it up. His mom's old school, but that said, I think the under's the way you go here. I don't really want to lay this type of number in the NFL, regardless of who it is. It's still a lot of points. But we look at that. I mean, let's go back to the first game. The thing about, we always say it's the first game, but the Giants looked like the same team from that game. They have not, 11 points a game. I'm not sure that I've seen that in the NFL. That's unbelievable to me. This is like, to me, a 24-7 type of game. I'm going to go under. I think the Giants won't get the 10
cover the spread.
I would lean that they do. I think, it's hard to envision this game being and generally these games shake out a lot like you think they will. Again, I think it's like I said, 24-7, 24-3, 28-7. I think the Cowboys probably cover, but I like the under a little bit more.
My mom still makes my bed. It's a no-brainer. It's still like going to home. My mom. Yeah, I get the fucking rigatoni. I got the fucking...
look at his father. He looks straight. That is a stone-cold paisan that he probably works for a fucking waste management company. And
probably owns a pizzeria or a pasta they're there and all the family works there and they come in there and they get the special. What you get when you walk in. I'm with it. I kind of like this type of family, man. I'm in.
No, this is we clown on this, but I think this is the stone cold old school family, and it's funny if you've ever seen Goodfellas, his name was Tommy DeVito in the film. That wasn't his real name, but the kid is a straight paisan.
Do you think that they own a dry cleaning business?
I'm trying to. From what I understand, his father is a plumber, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's a blue collar guy. Yeah, I actually worked. He was on the field when we were throwing at Syracuse. I trained a kid at Syracuse a handful of years ago, and Tommy came out and was throwing. He started working with us when he was there before he transferred, obviously, to Illinois. Good kid, man. I liked him, but full blown, like you said, Jeff. You're right. That's right where he's at. Jersey, Italian. I would imagine the team's going to come over there and. Mom's going to make some good cooking for him. I can already see that, which I don't hate it. But JB, I know where you're going. Like, oh, now our NFL quarterbacks are living at home till they're 35 now.
Real quick though, you got to see this. If you type in Tommy DeVito father on Google, Bailey, the first picture, you got to see this guy with the muscles out.
Oh, he's jacked. Yeah,
he's a big dude. Like, I don't know what the guy's. His name's probably like Vito or something. Like, I don't
Vito DeVito. I love it.
Like they're a prototypical.
Right.
Family. And he's with the Giants. How cool though, if you're a family, like how cool would that be? Like your kid's a star at Don Bosco or wherever, ends up going to the Giants, and regardless whether they're good or not, it's still a cool story.
Oh, it's a great dream come true.
Hey, Rigatoni can wait. I'm fucking up here, huh?
Hey, but also, 25 years from now, when he walks into the local pub in Jersey with his buddy, they're all going to remember. Yeah, Tommy, remember when you got to play at home in front of your family and all your buddies from high school? I think it's a fun story.
I'm 35, just beat the Cowboys. Hold on, Mom.
Now listen, while he's a Fugazi, Vince Papale, like it kind of reminds me a little bit of that story. Now that story was a lot fake, but still, it's kind of cool,
I love it.
that he's doing it.
I love it.
Yeah, her mom and dad coming over for dinner or what? Yeah, we're all fucking family in a 2-bedroom fucking apartment above fucking Grand State Central. All right, let's go. We got.
He's out of his friggin' mind, man.
Blow their ass out. I hope the Cowboys can get back after losing a tough one to the Eagles. I think they blow the Giants out. They win by 20.
Yeah, I actually think this is like 38-6. I think this is a beatdown, a curb stomp.
Yeah. All All right, let's go, Commanders.
What if he
Seahawks.
beats the Cowboys, though?
I would bet the house on it. I would probably lose again, of course.
If Tommy beats the Cowboys? Oh my gosh, he'll never pay for another drink in Jersey again in his life, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. You're right
It'd be
about
awesome. It'd be great to see. I'd love to see it. All of a sudden they switch instead of running it all the time. Come out and Tommy goes like 38 of 55, goes for like 520.
He'll have fucking
4 touchdowns.
Fucking rigatoni. He'll have fucking bread coming out of his fucking wazoo.
Yeah.
Fake ZD and all kind of shit. Let's go Seahawks. I'm taking Seahawks big at home. They got to bounce back after getting absolutely fucking decimated by the Ravens last week. They should be embarrassed. They're 3-1 at home, 5-3. They're going to have to stay with the Niners, who are going to lose today anyway. So I think the Seahawks got to win this one. It's a must-win. Commanders are a feisty group on occasion, but then they'll have a game where they'll get blown out. I think the Seahawks blow them out today in Seattle, Jeff.
Yeah, I think there's things about Seattle. They just need to be a little bit better from a football IQ standpoint. I think they have like over 50 missed tackles this season.
Hey, Jeff, by the way, before you continue, they did get 2 additions on defense, which I think is going to take it some time. But I think Leonard Williams and I think Frank Clark, I think the defense is going to get better. And this is something sustainable going towards the playoffs. But go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of where I'm going. They just need to be a little bit better, tighten some things up. You mentioned they're off a loss. I think this is one of the better bets on the board. Seattle back at home. You mentioned Washington. Glaring issue is up front. Their offensive line is poor. And we've seen Sam Howell look good, and then there's certain games where they just don't look good at all. Yeah, I like the Seahawks here. I think they bounce back in a big way here. Again, at home, good on defense. As you mentioned, they're improving. And Washington can't stop anybody. This defense sucks. They're giving up over 27 points a game. Also, Andrew, shut the fuck up. I'll go wherever the fuck I want, motherfucker. Don't threaten me.
Let's see. What I missed that? Somebody read it to me. I don't get to see. Where's that
this
at?
Fucking guy. Who the fuck does he think he is? Fuck
what did he say? Tell me what it said.
Jeff, I'll be in Philly later. Don't let me catch you by Angelo's, you fanook. Listen, first of all, don't call me that ever. Second of all, who the fuck are you? Shut the fuck up.
You're going to get a cap busted, your motherfucking ass, Jeff. No, I'm kidding. But why is he mad at you? What'd you do? What'd you say?
He said,
who
the fuck knows?
Okay.
I mean, you were giving DeVito some love for staying with moms and pops and his dad.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Jeff, you're talking a whole lot of shit on my people, but you're always covering topics on us. What's the matter with you? Shut the fuck up, Andrew. I don't need your fucking permission to talk about anything. If you have a fucking problem, do something about it.
He's out. All right. Jets Raiders. Tonight's game before the Monday night. Jets Raiders. Raiders on a high. Sean, Jeff Saturday did the same thing with the Colts last year. Went to Vegas, beat the Raiders game 1, didn't win another fucking game. Do you see that repeating itself with Antonio Pierce, or do you see this team really bought in? I kind of see this team bought in. The Jets can't score. Vegas doesn't have a great defense, but they have the best defender in football, in my opinion, Max Crosby. I think he's a 1,000%er, and he gives it all every day, and that team resonates around it. With Antonio Pierce now with a revived locker room, smoking sticks, probably drinking yak, NWA all over the fucking place. They all rolled up in 6'4" Impalas today. Where are you at with this one? It's in Vegas again. They can start off at 2-0 at home under the new regime. I'm going to have to rock with the Raiders on this one.
Yeah, those are my guys too. You know that, JB, forever. I'm a Raider guy. But in the betting terms, I like them today too. I don't think it's going to be a real pretty game. Aiden O'Connell's got another level to go. I just don't trust the Jets sustaining offensive performance, and I think the frustration continues to mount. And because they've got players, can you imagine being a Super Bowl caliber team that's going to struggle to make the playoffs or not get in because your offense just can't be efficient regularly? Now, I know Zach Wilson's got it in him. But I'm going to lean towards them. A couple sacks at home. The energy's fine. The key for this is for Antonio Pierce. That energy lasts. Now, the sustaining it, like you said, JB, is hard to do. That first, it's like with Josh Dobbs winning and that team rallied around him. Can you sustain that energy all the time? And then performance comes into play. Give me the Raiders by, a touchdown, two field goals, and at home. And I think what happens, Antonio Pierce has buy-in. As I've told you, I'm a big believer in that. Now, that can't sustain you if your players aren't playing well, but they have enough players to get through this. Hand the ball off, be physical. You're going to run some play action because the Jets defense is good. Raiders offense a little bit better in my mind. Let's roll there, because even though Zach's been in it, I think Aiden O'Connell will be sharp enough to do it. And I look for a couple turnovers for the Raiders too.
Well, I think it's hard. I mean, I don't – just because you get a new coach, and look, the Roberts stuff's cool, good for him. I think they'll obviously be reinvigorated, but they still do have the same situations that have plagued them all season. And again, I don't know. I mean, Aiden O'Connell's just hard to get involved with. It's still the Raiders in the end. And for me, I'm just not going to bet on bad teams. This is a rough game. They'll try to sell you, well, it's going to be great because they drove Impalas into the stadium. What does that mean for the actual game, though? I just don't think it's a great game. Still the same players. Feels like certain people were upset there. Devontae Adams has been a mess. He hasn't been performing. Quarterback play stinks. I like the under, though. I think this is another low-scoring game. It's hard, though, because this number's 35.5. I get your guys' opinion, Raiders at home and whatever, but
because I think the Jets are a bad team too, offensively. So that's it. Two bad teams equal a bad watch, and sometimes in those situations you just side with the team who's got a little bit. I don't believe in game-to-game momentum. I believe in the game-to-game confidence, because momentum's great until somebody punches you right smack dab in your face in the first quarter, and then nobody cares about what car you drive or what happens. So I think the Raiders will punch a little bit more. Lean on the big fella in the backfield. They'll make a few more plays, I think, just because the buy-in. But sustaining energy takes performance as well. And Antonio Pierce has got their attention now. Now they've got to perform so he can keep their attention.
That's tonight's game. Tomorrow's Monday's game. By the way, the Colts beat the Patriots. Shocker. There's rumors out there before we talk about this Monday night Broncos-Bills. Let's do that first, Jeff. Let's do the Broncos-Bills real quick so we can wrap this up and then talk about what I was going to ask you guys on the way out the door. Broncos-Bills. Buffalo -7 in New York tomorrow. 40-degree weather. Broncos obviously are playing better, but they're 3-5. They got to win. Russell Wilson's much better this year than he was last year. Bills are a reeling team, Sean. I just don't. I'm not excited on a team that just depends solely on their quarterback for 99% of the production. Run game, pass game, boot, naked, sprint out. I mean, this guy runs, catches the ball. I mean, you can't do more for the offense is just atrocious. They need to run the football, take some onus off of him. In saying that, I'm still going to take the Bills at home because the Broncos just continue to find a way to lose those type of games. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I think at this point we have to just say what the truth is. The Bills just aren't that good. Like they're a 5-4 team. That's what they are. The question I have is, are they the team that beat the Dolphins and blew out the Commanders and groups like that? Or are they the team that we've seen recently? I think they're more of the team we've seen recently. Defensively, they're not great. They're missing certain guys. Josh Allen's been doing too much. Russell is better. If you're going to give me 7 points with the Broncos, I grabbed them against the Chiefs. It was the right side. I like them here again. I think the Broncos look, can the Bills win? Sure. But to trust them to win by more than a touchdown right now, I think is a very tough situation to bet into. I'm not doing it. I like the Broncos here.
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in the Broncos. I don't think the Bills, I think they're overrated considering based on the pub that they were given, that they're a Super Bowl team. And Jeff, to answer your question, like you said, who are they? They're somewhere in between what you're talking about, which means the inconsistency tells me somewhere along the line in January, they'll have one of those games and get beat right now. The inconsistency. I like Denver, even though I don't believe that while Russell's playing better, that team could go haywire in 2 seconds flat. But the weather and getting into it and Sean Payton, I think Denver, I'd take Denver with you're going to give me those points, I'm taking them. I still think Buffalo wins the game, but when it comes to that, I'm not playing well enough to spot a team 7 points right now, even though it's in my own building. And it didn't like Denver can't deal with some cold. And what's at 40-some degrees? That's not cold. That's great football weather.
And also, we equate too much with the fact that the Broncos did give up 70 points in one game. But other than that, recently they've been pretty damn good defensively. I hate that. They played the Chiefs twice, held them to what? 19 points and 9 points.
Yeah, this is the defense we thought last year that they were supposed to be, that we thought their defense could step up and sustain some, at least keep them in games, and they're doing that now.
Sean Payton, after that 70-point game, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that locker room and heard what was said, because it seems like all of a sudden pretty quick. We heard how many people said, "Oh, they're not going to have anybody because everybody's going to be traded away."
Yeah, I'll guarantee you about to put their ass in a sling after that one. You know that.
Who would have thought old school tough talk of you need to fucking just play better would work, and it's worked. It's
really a simple concept. You want to win more, play better. Okay. I always love the guys too. Sometimes I'm not talking about in Denver, but at any level, JB, you've seen it in coaching. Jeff, you're around it all the time. So am I. And a fan base or something anywhere else say, "Oh, our coach," the players say, he deserved better. We should have fired. He's our guy. You're 2-7. He deserved better than play better. You want to save his job, take your ass out there and play better, because you're still there getting your paycheck. And his ass, while he's getting his paycheck, is going to be watching you play this weekend. You want to save your coach's job, and you love him, and the buy-in, and he really went to he did everything for us. And guess what? Play better.
Yeah.
Play your ass better, and then maybe everybody keeps their job.
As we wrap this show up, make sure everybody pounds the like button, man. We should have 500 likes in here. Is there any way that Belichick is fired tomorrow morning?
Look, I told you,
it's a heavy rumor out there, so I'm just curious.
Well, listen, I told you before, I think he is a product of an individual who had the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL with his team for so many years. Do I think he is what they say he is? No, I don't. Do I think he gets fired? I think it's probably time for a change. I mean, they have not been good since Tom Brady left. They just haven't. And that's a problem with the coaching. By the way, have you seen that him leaving the home? Did you watch that, guys?
No.
He was like doing the walk of shame. You didn't see that video? So there's a video that somebody found in the Patriot fan base. I guess Bill, it's like during the summer, he's in Nantucket or something. And there
once was a man from Nantucket. Okay.
No, but there's a video of Bill with his shirt off leaving a home. We would have to think of a woman. It's a Ring doorbell. And he looks right at the camera, essentially, and you see him just scurry away with his, it's like he left early, so no one would see him, but somebody saw him. It's out there. Bailey, you can find the video, I'm sure. It was a big video.
He was on a scavenger hunt, Jeff. It was a Halloween scavenger hunt, right?
Bill needs some wet. I mean, come on.
You got to see this video. It's very funny. Do you have that video?
I don't think he's going to get fired, JB. I think if it does happen, I think that it would simply be mutual. I think Bill will go when he decides it's time to go. We sure that's Bill? Kind of looks like him. Let's see.
That's him. That's him, dude.
That might be his crib. He locked himself out. Is that Bill's crib?
You can hear the sun just came up. Listen, you can hear like the birds chirping. That's a funny video.
He might have been up looking for his coffee, locked himself out after he went out, take the trash out, can't get back in.
One of his getaways, and
Listen, we have to stop. We have to stop acting like the walk of shame is a negative thing. The walk of shame is, agreed, Lucy, the Laid parade, bro. You're a fucking G leaving a house at 6 a.m. if you just got it in all night. Bill's walking out with his shirt off. Probably going to go home, get a nap, go to the beach.
You're really an OG if that shirt, you just said, screw it. I didn't bring a damn shirt with me. I'm leaving that there. You wear it when you go to the sheet.
Video.
That's motherfucking Bill B, man. Fuck everyone else.
Bill. I'm not mad at him.
There's no way they can fire him. Jeff,
they're not firing him. If he walks away, he's going to do it on his terms, not on theirs.
And I would have lack of respect for Robert Kraft.
Okay, if he left, would he want to go coach somewhere else, or is he done?
Well, here's the thing, though. He just signed a 4-year deal, and I've said it on my show. I think he signed a 4-year deal because it doesn't show what the numbers are. It doesn't show anything about it. I think he signed a 4-year deal. I think him and Kraft have agreed. He's going upstairs after this, and I think they're going to go after Vrabel. I think Vrabel's going to come in. I think Bill will be the GM, and I think this thing will continue. But I think he stays in-house, or if he leaves, he's going to leave and go away.
He's the highest paid executive in sports, right? Yeah. There you go. Right.
Making $20 million a year.
Yeah. No, I hear you, brother.
By the way, can we just I just also want to comment. Bill Belichick is 71. Look at that video. He looks good for his age, man.
He looks really good.
My God. Shout out to him.
Dollar Bill ain't playing. There once was a man from Nantucket. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, he did some
push-ups, man.
Look at that.
He looks like JB leaving a house.
He looks like he'll get you in one of those wrestling moves, and you're screwed, man. Billy, bam!
I've
love
always
Bill.
said this. Bill Belichick is. When I look at Belichick, if it comes out 20 years from now that he was a vicious, depraved, like crime boss, it wouldn't surprise me. He has just a look where that look, he looks at you, his eyes fucking pierce you, man. That guy looks like a fucking
Jeff,
lunatic.
get him on the thing, and let's dig deep in to find out if that's what his real background is. Jeff. Let's go on the pod.
If at one point he was like an Irish mobster, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, he looks like a fucking lunatic.
You always know what I think about that. I think dry cleaner. So if Bill's handing out your clothes at a dry cleaner, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Hey, I want you to starch my jeans, Bill. Starch them.
Hey, you imagine him walking in there and fucking everybody knows Brady and everybody, because he used to motherfuck Brady like no other. I can just imagine him walking in, hey, fucking Tom, why don't you just figure it out? And then just turned around and that's it. Motherfucker's all quiet.
Look at him though. He looks like he looks like a miserable motherfucker. Like, you don't want to get on the wrong side of him, man.
He's got that steely-eyed look all the time.
Yeah,
You're
like
exactly
he looks
right.
through you when he looks at you, man.
I love it.
Another great one, man. I'm gonna go put some fucking meat on the smoker and smoke me up. I'm gonna do a pulled pork, Jeff, today. I'm gonna do some beef back rib. I'm gonna do some pork rib.
I gotta tell you, man, I can't imagine your vitals in your body. I mean, I've never seen an individual eat more meat than you.
Best blood work in the world. Number one blood.
Amazing.
I got the best blood work in the world. Triglycerides are a little high, Sean. Pat and I had a whole week together.
Yeah,
Pat's
you got to go get those triglycerides down, brother.
Hey, I don't know if you heard the conversation between me and Pat, but, Pat was trying to catch my triglycerides all week. He wants to surpass my triglycerides because he thinks he's not drinking enough. So triglycerides are usually from alcohol. So, Pat's like, fuck that. I'm going to pass you up this week.
Just add a little salt to this meat you're putting on there, too, so you can harden your arteries while you're at it. There, dude. I'm with you, dude. What do you throw? Okay, so how many people are coming to the crib today?
I don't know, a few, but I got another thing going on too, Sean. I'm having a very high end, one of Pat's buddies and Casey Kirkman's buddy come through and give me a little estimate and appraisal on the crib.
Oh, nice. I know what that's all about, brother. You keep me informed on that, obviously.
Yeah. So
sounds like a fun day, man. Sounds like a fun ass day.
Yeah, no doubt. But I'll send you some. I'll send you I'll smoke some shit and then I'll send you a box. I'll dry ice it and send it to you or something.
Sounds good. Just don't let your meat loaf today, okay?
I'll send you that with Bobby Pavito's fucking head in a box. All right. Much love. Jeff, as always. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Follow Sean, iHeartRadio tomorrow morning. The Sit Down Pod with Jeff Nadu.
At Sean Unfiltered on Twitter.
Sean Unfiltered on Twitter. You already know Big Man on Campus on Twitter for Jeff. And we will see you guys next Sunday. And,
love both of you guys, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Later. All right, guys. I appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the Coach AB show with Big Smitty. And don't miss it. It's going to be a fire week. It's Eric Weddle Monday. They got the dub Friday night, and he's advancing in the playoffs. And it was good to be there in San Diego. And he's advancing to the second round. We'll talk about that tomorrow on EDub Monday on the Coach AB show. Pound the like button, man. Much love. Enjoy your Sunday. Peace. The last chance Q. Let's go. And I just cannot wait to bring over 60 years of knowledge and experience to not only the novice football fan, Sean, but to the veteran football coach as well.
You love it. You better